Hey everyone, it's Darling D Tarot bringing you another pick a card reading. So for today, we're going to get right into this, and we are going to be asking the question, what do people find attractive about you? This is just going to be going over different energies that people really like about you, different traits, different characteristics, and things like that. So for the piles, I have 2 brooches and a locket here. So for stack 1, we have this beautiful little brooch that can have a flower put into it. For stack 2, we have this beautiful little bronze brooch with a flower and a little like almost ruby. And for our third pile, we have this locket watch. So yeah, we have 1, 2, and 3. So you can choose based off of the energy of the pile, or you can choose based off of the items, or you can also choose based off of the number of the pile. So let's take a deep breath in. Let's hold it. And release. So I was already holding a little bit of breath in, so my breath didn't sound all that big. But yeah, so I'm going to give you a few seconds now to make your choice. If it is not long enough, you can always go back and pause the video and make your selection then. I also wanted to go ahead and say that this is a general reading, and this goes out to quite a bit of people. So if something doesn't resonate or doesn't make sense, definitely toss it aside and don't worry about it. And if your pile doesn't resonate at all, or if you just feel a little confused by it, you can always go back and choose another pile, and you can choose multiples on this one as well. You don't have to just be stuck to just one pile. You can choose just one or all 3. So yeah, I will let you choose now, and I will see you at your pick. Bye. Hello to everyone who chose stack 1. Let's get right into your reading and see what it is that people find very, very attractive about you. So your first 3 cards are going to be the Messenger Oracle cards, and these are going to just be going over different things that people really enjoy about you and really like. So first off, right off the bat, we have number 23, and it says, let the emotions flow. So right off the bat with number 23, if we added that up, that would be 5. And I feel like people very much think that you're someone who can gracefully handle change. You're someone who doesn't mind change. You're someone who accepts it and goes with the flow. You're not someone who is going to be very, very stuck on different energies or worries. You're going to be someone who is just kind of accepts the situation how it is and continues forward without any worries. You're someone who is very headstrong, and you are self-reliant to some aspect as well. But with change and with growing and things like that, we also have to let our emotions flow, just as it says. And people can see you as someone who is very emotionally connected. You're someone who can be in touch with their emotions and honor how they're feeling. You're someone who probably when you're feeling low, you let yourself cry, or, maybe you're someone who is even very sensitive. You're someone who cries over movies, or perhaps just is very sentimental in general. If someone does something very nice for you, perhaps you can't help but to get a little misty-eyed, which is very sweet. People see you as someone who is very connected with nature as well. You're probably someone who takes very good care of yourself as well. I think that when you take very good care of yourself mentally, I think that it also shows and reflects on the outside as well. You're someone who's very in touch with your emotions, and you're in touch with others as well. You could be very much an empath. You could be someone who feels very deeply, and sometimes it can really get to you. Sometimes people really have to watch what they say too, because you're someone who can really see through their lies and see through their deception, because we have to also notice this third eye here is very open. Even though her eyes are closed and she's crying, she's weeping here, she's filling her own glass. And it almost reminds me of the Ace of Cups, in the sense that she's very emotionally grounded, she's very emotionally stable, and she knows that when she feels every emotion very deeply, she can better herself, and she can get through any kind of tough, harsh, negative energies that she's going through, any negative situations. She knows that she can then transform her situation when she is feeling a little brighter and a little less stressed. But with her third eye here, she's also someone who's very, not only is she very balanced, but she's very intuitive. She's someone who you can't really lie to because she will sense it. She will sense that something's wrong here. This is someone who very much trusts their intuition and trusts their gut. Moving forward, we have Heed the Messengers, number 16. So you could also be, since we were already talking about how intuitive you were, you could be the type of person who very much enjoys receiving signs from your spirit guides or past loved ones. Maybe you're someone who collects feathers. If you see a white feather on your path, perhaps you say, oh, hey, that's from me, from my angels, or something along those lines. You're someone who very much is excited about those things. And if not, I also feel like you're just someone who doesn't mind going out and being the messenger. You know how in like olden days there was that kind of messenger boy who would go out and he'd be like the bearer of good news and like even just bad news, but it was news all the same. I think that you're very excited to know about news and you're very in the loop, you're very in the know. You know, I think that people look at you as someone who is very knowledgeable and someone who is very up to date in what's going on. You might even be someone who's very good in politics. I know that that's a very strange like vibe to get from this, but I feel like maybe you're very up to date in current affairs. Maybe you're someone who is very well read and very well versed as well. You might be someone who perhaps you even get into situations where you talk to people about these types of things. I don't think that you necessarily take a side at all, but I think that you're definitely someone who, feels very passionately for what you believe in. Regardless of whatever that may be, or what you're keeping up to date on. This doesn't even have to be political news even, maybe you're someone who's very up to date on bands. You're someone who keeps up to date on pretty much everything. Maybe you're very stylish as well. Because I did sense that maybe you were very well dressed because you do take care of yourself. You do have a good sense of self-love and some very good self-care routines. At least that's how people see you. They might even see you as someone who spends hours taking care of their skin or taking care of their hair. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you do, but I think to the outer world, it might come off as that appearance. You might even come off as someone who is a little shy at times, maybe even, you're very secure in your emotions and in yourself, but you might come off as a little insecure with your body, even if you aren't. Even if you're very comfortable, you might be the type of person who likes to wear baggy clothes. Maybe, you like to wear oversized jackets and oversized hoodies. I love doing that. Oh my gosh, I'm guilty too. But yeah, you're definitely someone who you're kind of more about an intellectual connection than really showing your body or showing your body off to people and saying, hey, you want some of this? I think that at least that's how people see you. And there's nothing wrong with that, but I think that they pick up your energy as something very innocent, very sweet, very wholesome is what I'm getting from these two cards. And for your third card, we have number 45, Time to Ground. So they might see you as someone who's very independent because of the 9 here. They see you as someone who's very independent. And we also have, look at all these, like just these women, just these alone women, They definitely see you as someone who's connected to the earth. They definitely see you as someone also who's very good with animals. They definitely see you as someone who really cares about the environment, really cares about animals, really cares about where the world is going. And they see you as someone who's very balanced as well. With Time to Ground, I think that they see you as someone who is very stable in where they are. They have a firm foundation. They think that you're very rooted to where you are. With being grounded comes balance, comes stability, comes just feeling, like I said, like you're rooted somewhere, like just at peace. That's what I felt like. Just a deep sigh of relief, I feel, is what people feel in your energy, because you're very calming, and I think that you're very understanding as well. I think that you're very gentle in the way that you look at people, in your eye contact, in your smiles, and things like that. Your smiles might even be a little rare, maybe perhaps for some of you, you kind of have a serious face at times, or you just go about the world, but people really appreciate your smiles. People love your smile. That's definitely what I'm getting. And even when you're showing your emotion and your emotions, and you're being vulnerable and you're expressing yourself and you're speaking your truths and things like that, I think that people see you even more beautiful, even more valuable, even more perfect when you're allowing yourself to do that, because they already see you as someone very strong. They see you as someone very independent, someone to be relied on. People see you as basically just someone who's going to look after the people in their lives. Yeah, and they see you just very connected with the earth and everything that the earth brings along. They see you as very abundant as well, like you might have a lot of opportunities. But yeah, so let's move on to your next card, and this is going to be Secrets of the Mystic Grove. And this is what else other people think is attractive about you. So we have number 27, Unravel, Puzzle, Conundrum, and Solution. So here's the thing. Remember how I said that, when you allow yourself to be vulnerable with people and you open up and things like that, people will really appreciate that more and they'll really love that about you. I think that they see you as a puzzle, or maybe a present waiting to be unwrapped and unraveled. Because you're so intricate, there's so many different layers about you that it would take hours of a tarot reading for me to even fit everything and to hear all the qualities that people like about you and that they really find attractive and like a good quality person. And even if this is something that you can't see, this is definitely something that other people see. They see you as someone who is very comfortable in themselves. They see you as someone who probably could solve anything, who could do anything, who there is no mountain too high for you. We have puzzle, conundrum, and solution. So it's almost like when there is a conundrum, when there is a puzzle, when there is something going wrong, it's like you're the person that people want to turn to. Because not only are you very intuitive with your emotions to where you know what's right for yourself and for others, but you're also very intuitive. Look, another third eye right there. So, it's almost like people think that you're going to automatically know the right answer or the right solution to a problem, even if you might not, even if you're like, why is everyone coming to me? Why? This doesn't make sense. Where's my camera? There it is. And you're just like so confused and everyone's like, hey, Megan, can you help me with this? And you're like, I guess, But you might even be the type of person who really values animal connection over people as well, just because I see a lot of like animals and just like nature energy for this pile as well. But I definitely see you as someone who is going to fix anything as long as they have their mind to it. You might even be someone who really likes puzzling, That's a lot of fun, especially when you get to glue it all together at the end and then you have a finished puzzle and you can look at it later on. I mean, a lot of people don't really like that, but I think it's real fun. And yeah, but they see you as someone grounded enough to make these decisions, especially if it's a tough decision. People will really rely on you and say, hey, how do you feel about this, yourself intuitively and just as a whole? Because you might be someone even who can look at a situation from every aspect and every viewpoint. I think that you're the type of person that realizes that the truth has many sides. It's kind of like if you hold up a coin and you say, what do you see on that side? And your friend says, well, I see the tail side. And then you say, well, I see the head, the head side. And it's just like, you guys could argue all day that you both are wrong about what's on the coin actually, but then you'll flip it over and be like, oh, okay, there was a different design on the back, that sort of a thing. So definitely, I think that you're the type of person who would be to the side going, flip around the coin. But come on, you guys, you'd be kind of the voice of reason here. I think a lot of people see you as the voice of reason and, almost like you're the mom friend. I hate to say that, or the dad friend even. However it resonates, but I think that they see you as like the parental unit among the friends. But yeah, you're definitely someone who can solve any problem, and you're someone who a lot of people respect and a lot of people look up to, and there's nothing wrong with that. It can be a little stressful and it can be a little worrisome, but you have it under control, and look at how easy she makes that look. She's not even looking and she's able to do it, Even the cat is like, whoa. So let's move on to the next two cards, and these are the animal energy cards. And these are just going over what energies people really like about you as well. So we have the Queen of Cups and we have the Nine of Wands. So this is awesome. The Queen of Cups is one of my favorite cards in the deck because we have this beautiful little moose lady, and she dove down to the bottom of this lake, and she let her crown fall off. She's not even worried about it because what she is worried about are those beautiful little greens right here, because the best greens lie at the bottom of the lake. And this is all about talking and saying that, what is worth the struggle and what is kind of difficult to begin with is definitely going to be worth it. Sometimes the toughest things in life are the best things when we finally receive them. Gosh, I'm getting a little tongue-tied here. I also feel like maybe you're someone who, at times you can get a little tongue-tied and people might think that that's really, really cute of you as well. I don't feel very cute when I do it though, but I'm sure when you do it, it's very, very sweet. But yeah, it's talking about how the effort is always worth it. Sometimes the most difficult things in life are something that we're going to very treasure and something that we're going to really enjoy. Look at how excited she is. Do you see that? She's not even worried that her crown has fallen to the bottom of the ocean. She's just worried about swimming down and getting those greens. And that's why moose are very, very good swimmers, so that they can do that. Because they have found that if they go down there and all their work and hardship will pay off. It's kind of like in the sense of, reaping what you sow, what you put in, you get back out. It's that reciprocity. It's, the universe handing it back and saying, okay, you've done such a good job. You've put so much energy and effort into something that here you go, here's the payout. And I feel like a lot of people see that as you, that you're someone who can go the distance. You're someone who, even if times get a little tough or things are a little off kilter even, you're going to really thrive and you're going to look forward to that payout. You're going to look forward to the bright side, the silver lining of the situation. You're someone who goes after what they want as well. If you want maybe a new dress or something or a new tuxedo or whatever, you're going to save up the money and you're going to work hard and get all that. And then you're going to go buy it and you're going to look real good, But that's the whole point of this card, is to really take care of yourself and to focus on the things that make you excited and to focus on the things that, even if they're a little tough, to still go after them anyway, because it's going to be worth it in the end. But that's how people see you. They see you as someone very abundant, and they see you as someone who's going to take care of business. That song, taking care of business. That's you. That's you. Every time you hear that, now I want you to think of yourself, give yourself a little pat on the back, and know that that's how people view you, So moving on, we have the Nine of Wands, and we have this beautiful bighorn sheep. And bighorn sheep are an amazing animal on their own, because they blend in so well to the rocks, and they are so smart and so agile, so athletic, so incredible. And this is a testament to you. This is saying that, the same thing as this, that you will climb any mountain, that there is no mountain too high. There is no mountain too steep. You will get to the top, even if it means scaling that mountain, that scary mountain. You're the type of person who will go the distance and you'll go after the things that you want. And there's something very admirable about bighorn sheep because they are also very strong. They're a force to be reckoned with those big horns. They are very intimidating. They will come up and ram your car if you get too close to them. And rightly so. These are creatures that should not be messed with. But this is also about feeling victorious. Maybe the things that you're feeling very passionate about, the things that you really put your mind to, you get very, very involved in. It almost might, to some people, seem a little obsessive at times when you have a goal, but it's only because you want to keep yourself on course, you want to keep yourself on track, and you want to make sure that you achieve that goal. But you're someone who will always get there in the end. You're someone who will always remain victorious. You're someone who will probably shine for the accomplishments that you do. You might even get a lot of recognition. And if not, maybe people see you just as someone who gets a lot of recognition and who gets a lot of praise. But people see you as someone who's very passionate, someone who is also very emotionally stable and emotionally connected, emotionally grounded. definitely continue to keep utilizing these energies, to keep going after the things that you're passionate about without any strings attached, without any worries. And people are going to keep being drawn to you and keep being drawn to this energy because you are so just well balanced and well off that people are just like a moth to the light. They're just so in awe of you. That emoji with heart eyes? I feel like that's how people look at you. Even if you don't notice, even if you look at people and they're like, that person's definitely glaring at me. No, they're probably just looking at you with those heart eyes and they're like, wow, wow, Jessica, you're so amazing. And you're just like, thanks. But you don't even notice. You're just like, wow, they're still glaring at me. Anyway, so moving on to your last card, this is going to be the overall outcome and like just overall what people really, really love about you and really find attractive. And we have the Star. And this is an incredible, incredible card to have because they see you as someone who's very hopeful. You look forward to another day because you know that it's another day that you can accomplish something new. You know that every second is new, every minute is new, every hour is new. And you don't really limit yourself to that. You don't really limit yourself to the past or to what has happened. You're not the type of person to say, well, gee, Frank said 5 years ago that my hair was a little stinky, but I've changed my shampoo since then, but I'm still going to worry about it. That's not how you are. You're the type of person who's like, I smell good now. I wash myself all the time. Like that's sort of an energy. Like it's washing away any kind of hardships. It's washing away any kind of disappointments or regrets or things in the past. You're someone who is very connected to the now and to the present energies. You're not someone who's going to dwell anymore. Perhaps in the past you were. Perhaps, it's been a lot of effort and it's been a lot of work to be able to find the silver lining in situations and to be able to be hopeful, in very tough situations. But it's something that you've achieved and it's something that other people notice about you. Even if it's something that you don't notice or, you feel like you're just still taking baby steps, people notice this. People see you as a shining beacon of light and beacon of hope, People see you as this star. They see you as a star. They see you as one of a kind and they see you as like just so bright and so energetic and just so lovely, But they see you as someone who definitely can shine bright doing whatever they want to do, So, yeah, I think that was really, really lovely. I hope that you enjoyed this and let me know if it resonated in the comments and make sure to subscribe if you have not already and if you enjoyed this so that you can be notified whenever I upload a new pick a card reading. And yeah, definitely give a thumbs up if you enjoyed this and let me know. And I will see you in the next pick a card reading. Also, all my information is in my description box down below, my PayPal, my Etsy, and different things like that. My PayPal, you can donate or make an energy exchange. I really appreciate it. Of course, it is not required though. I just really appreciate doing these readings for you guys and I hope that they help. But yeah, I hope that you have a wonderful day and I'll see you on my next pick a card. Bye! Hello to everyone who picked stack 2. Let's get right into your reading and see why do people find you so attractive? What is it that people find so attractive about you? So, getting right into this, we have your 3 messenger oracle cards. And these just go over different traits that people really find attractive and beautiful or handsome about you. So for your first card, we have number 34, reveal your truth. So, I think that you might be someone who perhaps to the outside world, you put up a little bit of a front or you put up a mask. And to those that really know you, to those that really get to know you and break through your shell, and you really remove that mask for them and you really become someone that they never even expected. Because on the outside, we see this person who might be a little scary with this mask, but when they take away the mask, we see all these beautiful little feathers and scales and all this color and brightness. And I think that really is a testament to you that maybe on the outside, even, the term, like the phrase, resting bitch face. Like, I feel like maybe that is along those lines. Maybe you have that, but you're actually the sweetest, best person around, that kind of a vibe. But I definitely see that you're the type of person who is very reserved. You don't show yourself to just anyone. You don't open up yourself to literally everyone in the world because there is a front that you put up. And this isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's a good thing. You don't want to tell your secrets to everyone. You don't want to let everyone know what your weaknesses are or things like that. It's almost like the person in this card puts this mask on so that people are more intimidated and give this person the proper respect and the proper dignity that they deserve. Because I feel like on the outside, that's really what you want people that you meet and people that are going to see you, especially in a job environment or in a school environment, to really respect you and to know that you're capable of so many things. I don't think that you want people to be judging you based off of how beautiful you are on the inside or things like that. You're someone who is like very down to business, like, okay, it's this way, this way, this way. You want people to listen to you when you talk, that sort of a thing. And you're someone who's very secretive at times. You're someone who can keep a secret very, very well, but you're someone who, like I said, as you get comfortable with people and as people get comfortable with you, you open up, you reveal a little bit more of the mask being lifted, and you're someone who people really treasure you when they get to know you. It might even be that you put up a tough exterior, but you're really a softie underneath. You're really soft, you're really sweet. You might even be a little naive, and that's why you put up a little bit of a front, because it's like you don't want people to take advantage of that. You don't want people to constantly take advantage or take control of the fact that you're such a kind, giving person. Because a lot of people can take over and take control of those beautiful qualities and beautiful traits that people have. They can just take advantage. So for the next card of what people find attractive about you, we have nurture all you love. So we see you as someone who's very compassionate, very caring. You might even be someone who you look at to your animals as if they are your babies. You are very nurturing. You're very loving. You're very supportive. You're someone who, like I said, when you open up to someone and you really trust them and stuff, you're going to really care about them. You're going to really take the time to say, hey, are you okay? Do you need anything? Can I be of service to you in any way? I think that you're someone who really wants to help the people that you love. You're someone who, if they're feeling sick, you're going to make them some soup. You're going to be there for them. You're going to hug them. You're going to let them cry on your shoulder. You're someone who isn't judgmental in that sense. You hold your friends and your family close, and that's what people really, really love about you. They find it so attractive that you're so nurturing and caring. You might even be the type of person who stops to enjoy different scenery or different animals. Perhaps you see a squirrel on a tree and you stop and you just admire it. You're like, that's pretty cute. People really admire that you can find joy in the little things as well. Things that maybe people find mundane, but they're such treasures to you. They're just invaluable moments. They can't be replaced. They can't be bought. So you're definitely someone who looks after the people that they love. You're probably a very big family person, and even if you don't have good ties with your family, I think that you might be someone who really wants a good family, who would really love the opportunity to have a family of your own in the future. However that might manifest, that might even be through having a bunch of animals or anything else like that. But I definitely see this as a beautiful card to have. And it might even be that people see you as this scary, like, dragon, like this. Look, all of this looks a little spooky even, but this dragon is so calm and just down to earth, and its demeanor is just so gentle and so caring to this egg or to this pearl. Just so loving and so lovely in the energy. Look at the gaze even that this dragon is putting upon this pearl. So you're definitely someone who's very attentive too. I think that people think of you as a really good listener. I think that they find that very attractive, the fact that, you are a good listener. I also feel like for a lot of you, people really, really like your eyes. I think your eyes are a really big deal, and the way that you look at people could probably make their knees a little weak. Yeah, I definitely feel like it might be the gaze that gets people. You know how Flynn Rider in Tangled has what is it, a smolder or whatever? He's just like looking at that gaze, and it's like, oh my gosh, that's you. You know, you have that look that you give people, and people are like, wow, bae. Anyway, moving on, but we have number two. We have be patient. And this is a beautiful card. You're just someone who you won't rush into things. Like I said, you do like to take your time. You like to get to know people. You like to get to know their stories and get to know every little single aspect about them. But you're someone who patiently unwraps it. You're not someone who will just rip off all the wrapping paper and throw it into the corner. You're someone who takes it off real slow and enjoys it. Maybe not in the present sense, but as far as people go, you're not someone to rush connections. You're not someone to rush different things. But yeah, you're someone who is very kind and very compassionate as well, in that sense that you look after people's boundaries. If someone is saying that they're not comfortable or saying that they aren't happy in a situation with how fast things are going, you're going to slow things down. You're also someone who, I feel like people find it very attractive that you're someone who can put in effort and just wait for your harvest to grow. You're also someone who, with be patient, I feel like it's almost like an energy of, I don't think that you're someone who will get mad if someone doesn't reply right away. And I know that that's not necessarily like, these aren't necessarily like traits that people think are attractive about you, but like, like physical traits. But I think that that is really goes to show someone's like, the fact that you aren't trying to control people, you aren't trying to like imprison them in your connections and in your relationships with them. You're someone who goes with the flow, and you're kind of like, yeah, you can text me back on your own time, because I like to take my time sometimes with replying to people, and I don't want to be rushed either. And I think people really appreciate that about you, that you understand that people might be going through hardships and different things, and they can't be around all the time to talk to you. You're not the type of person to be blowing up their phones like, hey, why aren't you writing to me? Please write back to me. Please, hey, are you there? You're not the type of person to do that. Partially because you put up this mask of being like kind of too good for that. I almost feel like, and I think that you are. I think that you don't want to stoop to that level of like harassing people, digitally harassing people even on social media or text messages, because you don't want that happening to you, because you're very balanced. You're someone who is emotionally balanced and emotionally secure and just stable. You want a stable life. You don't want drama. You don't want all of the nonsense. That's why you're very selective with your inner circle. And maybe people who approach you on the street who think you're attractive, who are really drawn in by your energy and maybe, your beauty, or, how handsome you are, how beautiful you are. I think that maybe they might find you to be a little, not that you're standoffish, but that they can't approach you higher up than them. Maybe they think that you make a higher income than them. Maybe they think that you're better, like more well read than them. But they definitely see you as more well off and more well to do. They might even see you as like you hang out with highfalutin people and, really well to do people. And it might not even be the case at all, but that's how you present yourself. You dress very well. And, maybe even at times you don't. Maybe sometimes you dress down and, you just wear casual clothing. You don't really make yourself up or anything, because you're just casual. You're just minding your own business. And I think people will enjoy that about you too, that you can also be very casual and just go with the flow. But I think for the most part, a lot of people can tend to get worried about approaching you as well, because they might see you as someone who is unattainable, or someone who is maybe more ferocious than they appear to be, or more ferocious than you even are. You might seem a little scarier than what you actually are, and people might be like, oh, if I go near them, maybe they're gonna be this ferocious dragon, but you're actually so sweet. Like, you're this dragon cuddling this little egg, and you're like, oh, yep, one day that's gonna be my little baby. And you're so soft and so sweet and so gentle, and I think people can feel it. I think that's why people are drawn to you. But I think that if they are someone who is deceitful or up to no good, I think that they're going to be turned away pretty quickly by you. So, yeah, let's move on to your next card, which is going to be your Secrets of the Mystic Grove card. And this is just going over more of what people really enjoy about you and what they find attractive about you. So we have 26, acknowledgement. It says seeing, knowing, and acceptance. So in this card depicted, we have both an owl and we have all these moths, which actually signify a very, very deep spiritual relationship. Maybe you're someone who has a deep knowing. You know, you're someone who can perhaps see things that are going to happen or see through. Maybe you're even someone who can see through these masks, you know, the masks that other people wear. You know, you're someone who can, perhaps since you wear one to the outside world, perhaps you're someone who can identify that in other people as well. You know, when people are putting up a front, you're kind of like, I know what you're doing because I've been there too. You know, don't act like I haven't played this game before because I've been around the block and I know how to do this. You know, you're probably like, I invented this game. But you're someone who's very intuitive as well, and you know what's going on. You know, deep down that if someone's a good person or not, you know. And I think that people feel the same way about you, that, you know, that's probably why you can sniff people out so well. So it might be that those types of people, once they realize they're just like, bye, they swerve because they don't want to have to reflect on that. But with this acknowledgement card, you know, you're very intuitive, you're very in touch with yourself, and you're very in touch with just your gut feeling. I think that you definitely know when an opportunity as well doesn't feel correct. You know, maybe that creepy feeling in the bottom of your stomach where you're just like, I don't feel right. You know, just that intuition, you trust that. You really know when to make a really good informed decision based on that. You know, but you're with acceptance here, you're also someone who just accepts things the way that they are. You know, I think that you're the type of person who, if someone comes to you and they're like, I'm done with you because you stepped on my shoe and you ruined my new favorite socks. And you're just like, well, I'm sorry I did all those things. You know, I'd be more than happy to pay for them. But, you know, if you want to leave my life over me accidentally hurting your shoes and socks, bye, I'll open the door for you. You know, I think that that's kind of the way that you are because you don't want to deal with it. You want good people. You want people you can take care of. You know, you want people that you can nurture and that you can, you know, that you can have also nurture you and care for you and be there for you when you want to take your mask off and you want to be vulnerable for a while. You know, so when people overstep their boundaries or do things like that, you see right through it and you're like, you know, you're not going to guilt me. You're not going to do any kind of harmful energy attacks. That sounds so malicious. But yeah, I guess you could call it that. You know, like, don't even be having my name in your mouth. Look at this intimidating owl. You know, but you go with the flow. You're just kind of like, yeah, okay, bye. You're not the type of person to dwell on it. I don't feel like Five of Swords energy here where you're just like battling everyone, you know, but you're definitely someone who's just like, okay, if that's how it is, then that's how it is. And I'm not going to worry about it. I'm not going to stress about it. I'm not going to lose sleep at night because you're very intuitive and you know at the end of the day that you made the right decision for yourself. You know, you're very self-reliant and you're very, very wise. You're very wise. And at times it might feel like you're in the dark because with these moths, you know, moths are blind. They rely on vibrations. They rely on the temperature around them. So it's almost like they're guided by intuition, you know, is the only way to explain moths. And, you know, it's really a testament to you as well that even when times are dark, when times it feels like you can't see, it feels like times are a little hopeless, you know, you still come out on top. You still go towards the light. You still go towards what's right and what you feel is correct in your heart, in your inner knowing. You know, and that's very much like moths. They know where the light is. They can feel it. They just know, you know, so they'll go towards it. So, you know, I definitely feel like you need to continue to rely on your intuition because people really love that about you. You might even be very spiritual. People might notice that as well. Maybe you're someone who You're very much into like old mythology and fairy tales, maybe even like the old fairy tales of like knights in shining armors with princesses and archery and dragons and all that cool stuff. And, you know, go for it. But I think that people really appreciate that about you. And, you might even be the type of person that likes to go to Renaissance fairs. And if you are, I feel like that'll be a small majority of you. But I feel like the people that are, I feel like you're someone who goes very well dressed. And, maybe you attract a lot of attention that way. Maybe you're someone who likes putting on cosplay, or like, not even cosplay, just, maybe even historical dress. Maybe you're a historical reenactor. That would be pretty cool. But people see you as someone who could even do that. Maybe you're very good at impersonating people, like impersonation, voice impersonations. But you're very fun. You're someone that's very fun to be around, and you have such an uplifting energy, which I think is why you hide it to the majority of people. Because it's something that can be abused, and I think that your boundaries and you know what you're comfortable with. Especially as far as people go. So, let me take a breath. That was a big one. That was just like a long ramble. Okay, so moving on to your animal energy cards, we have the High Priestess and the Three of Wands. So this is just continuing on what people find attractive about you, maybe what kind of energies you present yourself with. So with the High Priestess, she is definitely someone who is very intuitive. She trusts herself. This Black Widow here, she is the queen of her domain. She puts all of this work and effort into this web, and it will pay off by the next morning, when she collects her harvest and can hunt and feast. So as this beautiful little spider here, she uses her intuition to guide her, but she's also very, very, very self-reliant. She doesn't rely on any other creatures, on any other insects, on anyone else other than herself. She's created this entire web by herself, and she's created the perfect haven for herself. She's not someone who, is going to ask several other spiders for help. She's the type that's like, I'm going to do this, and then this will all be mine. All of the hunts that I got from this, that will be mine. All the prey that I got, oh yeah, I'll be feasting good. But she's also very intuitive, and she can see things that aren't there. We very much have this energy of sometimes we're in the dark, but we can still see. It might not be the brightest of light, the moonlight, but it's still enough to be able to see and to guide our way. And you're someone who can trust yourself. You trust yourself to know where to go. You trust yourself to know, like, hey, I'm feeling a bad feeling about going down that dark alleyway. Maybe I'll take, that side road instead, Or maybe you're driving down the road and you say, hey, I don't really feel good about that street. I'll go down another street. And then like later on, you find out there was an accident on that street. Those sort of happenstances, I think that you just have an inner knowing, and maybe you can even see things before they happen, that sort of a thing. But people really find attractive that you can take care of yourself. Maybe you're someone who, you're very abundant, you're very financially stable even. Maybe you're someone who takes pride in their home. You take pride, maybe you like buying pillows. I love pillows. You like buying pillows. Maybe you buy some hanging beads, or like, some artwork, some like miscellaneous artwork. What's fun is to go to like the Goodwill, or like, like secondhand shops, and then to look through the pictures. People bring their literal like personal pictures there. So I buy them. And then I put them up, and I admire them. Like, people bring pictures of their pet birds, and I'm like, that's sad. Someone really enjoyed that bird. So, you bring it home, for your environment, for your perfect area. Just a little tip for you. Maybe you'll implement that. You don't have to, though. Just advice. But definitely you're someone, maybe you even believe in feng shui and all of that. You're someone who believes that bed placement is a definite worry. Like, you don't want to put it facing a door or things like that. So you might be someone who is very, very good at taking care of themselves and taking care of their home. I definitely feel like you're sometimes a homebody as well. So people might even just enjoy spending time with you, just sitting down, talking, having snacks, and, maybe that might even be a perfect date, is just getting a movie and having pizza or something and just hanging out and really getting to know each other in the comfort of your home. Because you feel very comfortable there because you've put so much work into it. Yeah. And, okay. I also feel like maybe you like being at home sometimes more than going out as well because you just feel safe there, surrounded by, just your own energy and your things. I think that a lot of it is also very sentimental. So, it can mean a lot to you, which is very beautiful. But moving on, we also have the Three of Wands, and this is woodpecker energy. So the Three of Wands is like waiting for your ships to come in. Like, your ships are going to come in, that you're going to be successful. It's just like, it's the waiting game now, and it's going to take a little bit because boats aren't like the most notoriously fast travel in the world, but they're getting there, they're a lot faster nowadays than they were back in the day, but, but you're waiting for your ships to come in and you're feeling very successful. You feel like very determined, very passionate. You're someone who can go after the things that they want. You're very fast paced. I almost feel like you take your time at first, you really mull over things and you make sure that you make an educated guess, as to how things will go on. You might even be someone who, sits down and comes up with a few different scenarios in your head of how something might go. Like maybe you have A, B, and C and you're like, well, it could go this way or it could go this way or it could go this way. Like maybe you're like, okay, I'm going to go out to the pizza parlor, right? And I'm going to go in and I could either sit down and have my pizza pie, right? Or I could sit down and have my pizza pie and then someone comes up to me and they spill their ice cream sundae all over my new outfit. And then I have to go home and I'm embarrassed. Or I can just go to the pizza parlor, grab my pizza and go home. So, maybe there's also, there might be a little anxiety too here. I know I'm channeling a lot of energies, so just pick up what resonates with you. I feel like a lot of different people might pick this pile. But yeah, so I feel like you might come up with a few different scenarios. It doesn't have to be like that dramatic or that extreme, but I think that you're someone who can definitely weigh out all situations. And, that second option, you might be like, well, that's a little outlandish, I'll probably just sit there and have a good pizza and that'll be that. And yeah, I don't think that you have to worry as much about someone spilling their ice cream sundae all over you, but so you're someone who can definitely come up with different options and in the meantime as well. So maybe you're someone who, while you're working and, going towards a career or something, you're someone who can also do a side hustle. You're someone who can also, potentially maybe have a hobby that you really, really look forward to that you're trying to also get off the ground. It's also, just really getting excited about a lot of different things. You might even be someone who takes on so many things and everyone really appreciates you for it. You're someone who's very helpful and you're someone who looks after others, so definitely I think people see you as very determined and they see you as someone who's going to be very successful. I think a lot of people still see you as like rising up through the ranks, I'd suppose. But they definitely see you as someone who just goes with the flow. And they see you as someone who's very lighthearted. You go wherever your heart takes you. I think that maybe you're someone who's very well traveled as well. You might very much like traveling. You might be someone who, even you might live close to water or something, but you might be someone who is very active in the sense that maybe you like hiking even, like doing the guided moonlight hikes. But definitely I see you as someone who goes after the things that they want. People find that very attractive about you. People find the fact that you take pride in your home. Oh my gosh, people are like, wow, he or she is a homemaker. This is someone who really takes pride in everything that they do. And this also means that maybe even when you are dressed down, maybe when you're wearing sweatpants and a sweatshirt, even then people are like, wow, this person is still very beautiful. They still shine so brightly, and it's because you're so passionate and you talk so loudly and so proudly about what it is that you want as well. I think that you're a force to be reckoned with. So moving on to your last card, we have number 18, the moon. So definitely I see you as someone who's very independent right off the bat. I just want to say that, as well, because these are all pretty singular cards for the most part, but I feel like with that, you might be someone who, even though you like your solitude, you like being alone at times, just to reflect and to be able to relax and to recharge, I think that you might be, someone who very much craves, a good friendship, a really long-term friendship, one that's going to be very equal and very content, and people very much appreciate that about you. People see you as a go-getter. They see you as someone who can do just about anything. And they see you as someone who has a very awesome sense of humor, too, with woodpecker. Because woodpeckers are pretty funny. Like, you look at them and they're pretty funny looking and they make that cute little pecking noise on, like, wood. And you're just like, wow. So, but they see you as someone who can make them laugh and who can make them have a really good time. So, you're definitely someone who is very valued, whether that be in work, in school, among your friends, in your family circles. You're definitely someone that people look up to and that people very, very much appreciate. So back to the moon. I know I kind of went on a little rampage for a minute, but the moon is all about illusions, and, especially in this deck, and because we see the moon and it's crying for the things that it's seen that maybe other people haven't seen. And this might just be you, the fact that you can see through illusions, you can see through people when they are not being truthful, when they are not being their fullest potential, or when they are not being true to themselves. You see that and you're like, what the heck, it might even be things, you see things that other people don't see, with seeing right there, and people really like that. I think that you're the type of person as well that will come to people and say, I had a really bad feeling about it. Like, you give them an example like, hey, I had a really bad feeling about you planting all those new flowers outside because there's still snow on the ground. You know what I mean? Like, maybe they know that, but, you're the type of person who will come to your friends and tell them what you think regardless, because you're the type of friend that will want people to do the same for you. Because you want people to be transparent. You want people to just be themselves and to be open. And that's what people like about you, is that it takes a while for you to be open, but people know that when they do gain your trust, you're going to be just the most beautiful person that they could have ever possibly hoped to have in their life. So yeah, I hope that you enjoyed this reading, and definitely let me know in the comments if it resonated, and make sure to subscribe if you have not already, and to leave a thumbs up. And all my information is in the description down below. My PayPal is there if you want to do an energy exchange at all. I really do appreciate it. Of course, it is not required. Also, as well, is my Etsy link, and everything else is in the description as well. I hope that you have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next pick-a-card. Bye! Hello to everyone who picked stack 3. Let's get right into your reading and see what do people find attractive about you. So for your first 3 cards, we have the Messenger Oracle cards. And these are going to just be going over different qualities and characteristics that people really like about you. So right off the bat, we have number 18, and it says honor Gaia. So people definitely see you as someone, you might, as far as styles go, you might dress a little bohemian, a little hippie-ish or something like that, but people definitely see you as someone who is very eclectic, someone who is very much themselves, and someone who honors nature, someone who honors the earth, and someone that honors everything around them. I think that you see everything as sacred. You're the type of person who can talk to trees and gently put your hand on them. And, you're the type of person who knows that every single thing is alive to some extent, and, can really feel your presence. you are the type of person as well, to kind of go alone on your own adventures. Maybe you're the type of person who likes to go hiking. Maybe you just like to go on morning jogs, or maybe you're just the type of person who likes to listen to music by themselves. But you definitely like to go by yourself and do these things. You might even have times where you go and meditate, maybe even out in the woods. It doesn't have to be out in the woods, maybe even out in your own backyard, where it's a little safer. And, I want to say first off the bat, like, I live in Colorado, so when people go hiking, like, if you're going to go hiking somewhere that's a little unsafe, always make sure to bring a friend. Like, I don't want to be that person that kind of preaches to you, but it's just a little safer for everyone, just in case you had a broken ankle or anything like that. So yeah, I just wanted to put a PSA out there. Like, I'm proud of people who can go hiking alone, but just make sure that if it's a trail that you don't really know, to bring a partner for the first few hikes as well. But yeah, I'm gonna get back to the reading now. But moving forward, we also have Seek the Lesson, number 35. So people definitely see you as someone who can find the lesson in every probably bad situation, in your life or that has happened to you. You see things as growing opportunities. You see things as a way to have character development, almost in a way. You see things as you heal from them and then you learn from them and you keep the lessons with you. You carry on with them. You continue to grow with them as well. And you're the type of person who the experiences that you've had in the past, you will keep them fresh in your mind to a certain extent, so that when you face the same opportunities or the same problems or situations yet again, you can face them with a more educated outcome. And sometimes the universe likes to send us the same situation or the same problem again and again and again, just to see if we have learned from it. Because as we know, history repeats itself unless we learn from it. So we really have to make a conscious effort to heal. But with all this green, people are very much, they see you as someone who's very wise, and they see you as someone who is a healing energy. Maybe people are drawn to you because they just feel so calm, so at ease, and maybe even when you touch people, they feel almost like their pain goes away. To some extent, you might be a healer, you might be someone who would be really good at Reiki even, but people find it very attractive about you that, that you like being outdoors. Maybe people really enjoy you. Maybe you're the type of person to go camping, or, to go outdoors and to go to festivals and concerts. But you're definitely the type of person to go out and do things, but you're not going to make the same mistake twice. I definitely get. And people love that about you. People love that you are very wise and that you learn from your mistakes, because there's a lot of people, that can keep making the same mistake and it just doesn't happen. Like me, for years, I've always managed to lick an ice cream cone once and my ice cream falls on the ground. And this has been happening since I was a kid, and it's just like within the last 2 years, I've mastered it. But, it's just our own personal things that we have to learn and grow from. And, sometimes these things are unavoidable. Sometimes we'll be put in these situations again, especially if it's a bad relationship or a bad work environment. We might be put into these situations again, but it's up to us to learn and to handle the situation differently than we did last time if we felt that we handled it wrong. So, yeah. But I definitely see that people find you attractive because they see you as someone who is very stern and kind of what they want. You are going to go after what you want, regardless of what people say to you, because you've been through so much on your own already that, you trust yourself. You know where you've been, and it almost feels like you don't have to prove anything to anyone. People love that you're so tough. Even if it's not like you come off as very tough, I think that people really respect you and know that you have been through quite a bit of trials. And you might even be the type of person who extends advice to people. And people find that very attractive, the fact that you want to help. Maybe if someone drops something off of a shelf at a grocery store, you're the type of person who will bend down and grab it and give it to them, and smile, because you're very respectful as well. I think that you're the type of person who, can definitely make tough decisions, as well because of where you've been. So moving on to your last card, we have number 27, make the sacrifice. So definitely, look, we have 2 9s here. So you might be someone who's very much to themselves. People might see you as a lone wolf at times. Maybe people might even find that attractive to the fact that you can go out and accomplish everything on your own, and the fact that really you don't need anyone. You're pretty happy just kind of going out and doing your own thing and not worrying about it. But you're someone, like I said, who can make tough decisions. You're someone who can make the sacrifice when need be. You're not someone to hold on to things like that aren't good for you. You know what I'm saying? So, especially with being in that situation prior, so people really find it attractive that you look after other people as well. Like maybe if you're in a relationship with someone, I feel like maybe you're the type of person that if the two of you don't really align on what you want in life, like maybe one of you wants children and the other doesn't, maybe you're the type of person who says, let's call the whole thing off. That kind of energy. No, but you're kind of like, I respect that we want different things, and I don't want either of us to be unhappy here in this partnership. So I'm going to just say, let's go our separate ways and do that. So it's definitely very admirable how you treat people and how it's almost like you put your happiness to the side for other people. If you found out that your friend liked someone that you liked, I think that you'd be like, okay, well, you can have them then, you can go date them and I'll just be over here. And I think that, you're just the type of person who puts other people's happiness before your own at times. You're someone who really looks after the people you love and really worries if they're going to be happy or not. You're someone who doesn't want to jeopardize that either, because you know what it's like in the past to do that. So people might find you to be someone who can definitely make the tough decisions, even if it's something that you don't necessarily want, either. But if it's to make other people happy, you'll do that. People find that very attractive. And, it's almost like you're fine being on your own and that other people are just kind of like an added benefit to being alive. It's like every other person that you accumulate in your life is just such an extra gift. Those like made for TV commercials that are like, now with an added gift. That's people in this situation. Like, you're just happy to be alive in a sense. You're just happy to be experiencing things and to be going through the motions and going through life. And people like that. You might come off as someone who on the streets, you look like you have all your things together, like, but you might come off as very standoffish. So people, that's a lot like stack number 2 in a way, that it's kind of like people are a little concerned about coming near you. But I think that also people just see you as very unique, and I think that they see you as very different as well. So you might be someone who has been judged in the past as well for how you have dressed or how you have decided to perceive yourself, on the outside, or decide to dress, and that's really a shame, because we shouldn't be judging people for how they dress or how they decide to make themselves look, but I definitely see you as someone who, at times could be a little misunderstood, and that's why you want other people to be understood. You will do whatever it takes to make other people feel understood. And people really appreciate that. They find that very attractive. They find that very wonderful about you. So moving on, your next card is The Secrets of the Mystic Grove, and it is number 20, Look Ahead. So this is a beautiful card. I think that people very much see you as someone who can look ahead into the future. You're someone who very much wants to plan for the future as well. It might be that you live a little bit in every single time period. You live in the past, you live in the present, and you live in the future. And it can get a little overwhelming at times. And maybe that's why you like to be alone, to get your thoughts together, because sometimes you can be like 20 years in the future or like 5 years in the past. And it's just like, because there's the past, there's the present, and there's the future. And it's even then, it's almost like they're always on your mind. It's like there's always something on your mind at the very least. And maybe that's what even preoccupies you right now from, being the popular person or, surrounding yourself by a lot of people, because, you do need time to think. You do need time to worry about what's going on in your head and what's taking up space there. So look ahead says visionary planning and preparation. So you might be someone, first of all, this, it might not apply to all of you, but you might be someone who perhaps is in the travel business. Perhaps you're someone who's like even a wedding planner, or, maybe you even want to get into that. But you're definitely good with scheduling. You're someone who, hey, you might even be a Virgo. I don't know, that just reminded me of Virgo energy right there. But you're definitely someone who's very balanced in the fact that you know how to schedule, you know how to manage time, you know how to plan. You might even be someone who can do a really good party. I feel like you're very good at, like, if you could do surprise parties or just parties in general, I think that you would be perfect at it. I think that your friends would probably come to you and say, hey, can you help me plan this and this and this? Maybe you'd even be really good, like I said, as a wedding planner or something along those lines. But you're a visionary, you're very unique. You're someone who goes against what normal people perceive as normal. You're someone who kind of goes and does their own thing and doesn't worry about it. You definitely care about the environment as well. You might be someone who recycles, and a lot of people will definitely find that attractive about you as well. You might even be someone who gives back or who is very good at gardening. I just wanted to go back and dabble in that a little bit. But definitely you're someone who looks ahead and you plan for everything. I think you plan for every situation. Not as much as Stack 2 does, to where they overanalyze, but I think that you definitely like to, at the very least, have a secondary plan to your regular plan if all else fails. But you're definitely someone who's very, very good at planning. You might even be someone who carries around a schedule with you. It might just be easier, or you use the calendar in your phone. But you're definitely someone who knows how to use time management and knows how to schedule things for themselves. And a lot of people will really appreciate that, basically the responsibility that goes along with all of that as well, because there are a lot of factors that go into planning. So I think it's very awesome that you are able to do that and that you are able to freely manage your time. So yeah, what else is here? I also feel like you're very prepared for every situation as well. If you're the type of person to go camping, or you're the type of person to maybe go boating or something like that, you're the type of person who will bring extra gasoline, you'll bring extra snacks, extra granola bars, extra candies, extra whatever you need, You definitely always want to be prepared, and you kind of want to just make sure that you're on top of everything, But definitely, you're very well balanced as well, because we have 20 here, and that's just yeah, that's good. So on to your animal energy cards, we have the Knight of Swords and Strength. So, wow. So first of all, let me get into the Strength first. So Strength is this ox, and we see him carrying all of these things, pulling this really heavy cart, and we have a rug, we have a table, we have some more rugs, we have some books, we have some more rugs, So we're happy, we're doing good. We have all of our stuff with this ox, and this ox is carrying all of it, is pulling the cart, so passionately, so diligently, and so strongly, but we can look at this card in two ways. The fact that we are relying on this animal to kind of do our work for us, but we can also look at it that this animal is so strong and so, the perseverance of ox are incredible. They are so, I keep looking for the word, not bulky, but very sturdy. There we go. They're very sturdy and they're very strong and very reliable. And people look at you like that. So people might also see you as someone who perhaps other people will give their problems to you, or like give you more of their workload, especially at work or maybe at university. You might be the type of person who's like, yeah, that's fine. I'll do that too. And I'll do that. Yeah, no, it's okay. It's not really that you're a people pleaser, but you don't really want to argue or cause a stink in that forum, because it's almost like maybe you're doing your laundry and you have roommates that are like, oh, hey, you're doing laundry, why not throw mine in there and also do mine? And you're like, I guess, I mean, I'm doing it already, so I might as well, but, so you're very reliable. People really like that about you. People find it attractive that you are reliable, but they also, appreciate your strength. They appreciate that you can keep going, you can keep persevering, even when times are hard, even when you have an extra load, or, when you are doing your best, you're still going forward. Some people can, try to pull this cart full of things and it won't budge an inch because they aren't as strong as this ox. And you are the embodiment of this ox. People see you as so strong. People see you as someone who can persevere and who is very resilient. I think people see you as someone who they can rely on if they're having a bad day as well, or someone even who to call when they need help even moving. You might be someone who, with planning, maybe you're someone who's very good at organizing as well. But with Knight of Swords here, we have this Rook, and he is in the Crow and Raven family, which he is very, very smart. He utilizes tools. He is very passionate about his family and wants to protect them and keep them safe. But he also goes out and goes on the hunt for little pretties here and then, to really snazz things up and to be able to use them, because these birds are very intelligent. People might see you, first of all, as someone who is very, very smart. So they might be a little intimidated by you, almost like you're gonna just start correcting their grammar or something along those lines. I don't think that you're as cutthroat as that. I think that you're just very intelligent, and people might take that the wrong way. But you use it to your advantages, and you use it to really help out where you need help at. So this bird in particular, the Rook energy, is smart enough to know what is good enough for him and what is not good for him. And that's why he has this sword here, because he's very truthful to himself, and he's willing to use this sword that he found on his travels to protect his family. They are known to use simple tools and stuff to achieve tasks, and it could be that you're very protective of your friends and family. It could be that when you're a lone wolf, and you tend to make sacrifices for the people you love, it's that sort of a feeling. People might see you as someone who would literally go to war for the people that you love. You're very loyal. People see you as someone very loyal. They see you as someone who comes off as kind of ride or die, I feel. You're very passionate towards the people you love, and you're very truthful. I think if someone wants your opinion, you tell them. And you don't sugarcoat it either. You're very upfront with them, and you're like, hey, this is how it is. Maybe someone got like some new shoelaces or something, and they're like, hey, you like these? They're checkerboard striped and whatever. And you're just like, yeah, but they don't really match with the plaid shoes that you have, Karen. And so, it's being a friend. I don't necessarily think that you mean anything by it. You might come off as a little sassy at times as well. You might be very sarcastic, and I think people might really appreciate your humor. I think you might have a little bit of like, a strange sense of humor at times as well. But the people that get you are really going to get you, and you're really going to vibe with them. And just people really appreciate your loyalty. And you might even be the type of person that has been working the same job for years, even if it's a job that you don't necessarily like, but you like the people that are there, or you like the people that own the place. And it's almost like, you're very loyal to them, but you're just like, ugh, I never dreamed about being, in charge of all of these llamas, but suddenly I found myself in a llama farm. And, that's sort of an energy. Maybe it's that. But you're very loyal. You're like, I made friends with Debbie and her husband, Mark. How do I say no to being a llama farmer? You can't, because you're very loyal to them as well. And you see people as that are friends as in your family group, as in your soul family. But people definitely see you as possibly someone who takes on more of a workload than they should as well. Maybe you're someone who works way too hard at work. You might be someone who tires yourself out that way. So by the time that you have time to yourself or a social outing, you're just kind of quiet. You just want to get your groceries, get yourself a meal out, or, whatever, and then get back home. You might not be someone who's necessarily wanting to conversate with people or with new people necessarily, like right off the bat. You might meet a lot of people through your work and through your studies, though, that will really make your heart sing. But, I think that people really, really appreciate you and all that you do for them, especially your family. I think that people might appreciate that if you have a really close bond with your family and they see that, they're like, wow, and that can even be soul family, like friends, even cousins even. But yeah. So any other messages here? Let's see. But yeah, I think that those two go together as well with the planning and with Rook energy, because he is so smart, I think that he is the type to remember where to go, especially to receive these instruments and these tools to use in their day-to-day life. So you might also be the type of person who is very resourceful as well. I just wanted to throw that out there before we move on to your last card, which is an overall energy, what people like about you. And we have the Hermit. Oh my gosh. Ugh, another 9. Another 9, you guys. I love it. I love it. Okay, so definitely, as I said earlier, Virgo energy, Virgo energy, Virgo energy. Tap it out. Tap it out. So, but the Hermit is an awesome energy because it's someone who is very well reflected. They can rely on themselves. They can rely on their intuition. They can rely on themselves even like when the chips are down, when times are dark. And, it's almost like when you don't have a map, because there's this old man and he's following this path and it's so dark outside, you can't see anything. But what you can see is illuminated by this lantern. And the lantern is representative of, also his intuition and his inner feelings and his inner knowing, and it's almost like he doesn't have a map, and he's going along this path, and it's up to him to decide when he gets to a fork in the path which one is correct. We can't really see 3, 5 feet, 10 feet into the distance because of how dark it is, So how would we know which one leads to where we want to go other than to use our intuition? And that's the whole point of the Hermit, is someone who is very spiritual in themselves and, and relies on their spirituality, relies on their intuition, and relies on their gut feelings. You know what's right, especially in planning, in party planning, in any kind of planning, it could even be in scheduling, maybe writing out your own schedules. You are someone who will automatically know where everything goes, especially with time management. You're someone who trusts their instincts and knows their boundaries and knows how much it is that they can put on their plate. Because do you see how much this ox has? Like I said, the normal person couldn't pull this cart with all the stuff in here. But you know your boundaries, and you know that you are strong enough to handle all of this. You're emotionally strong enough. You're physically strong enough. You are strong all around, and people so appreciate that. People so find that attractive. Strength is really an admirable quality. And strength comes in so many different ways. It's not just physical, it's mental as well, it's spiritual. The strength as well to be vulnerable, the strength to, there's just so many different ways, the strength to protect our families, or protect our loved ones with all we have, and the resources that we have. But yeah, you're definitely someone who, I feel like you might even be someone who likes doing DIYs, with the things that you already have. I know that's random, and leading away from this for a second, but that's just the vibe I'm getting, that for some of you, you might really like to look around, and then you'll see a box somewhere in your room and you'll be like, hey, could I turn that into something? So then you start Googling it, maybe looking at here on YouTube and going into it. You might be very resourceful in that sense, and people really love your ingenuity. They really love the fact that you are so smart and so resourceful. They like the fact that you can basically make anything out of just scraps and what people would consider garbage. So yeah, definitely take that if that fits you. But I feel like that for sure, maybe this is the cart full of all your DIYs and you're just oh my gosh, why did I take on all of these? But definitely you rely on yourself. And with all of these 9s, you're definitely someone who likes relying on their own energy. You're someone who's very, very, very self-reliant. And people really think that's incredible, because sometimes it can be very, very hard to go at it alone, and to go at it without other people or without cooperation or anything like that, and you make it look so easy. And that's what people like about you, is that you just make it look so easy. And you make it look effortless. And maybe to some people, they get a little thrown off about coming up and approaching you for a date, because they might think, hey, they're better off alone. They're doing really good. They might think that them coming into your life might even just be a hindrance because you're doing so good. But yeah, people definitely find that attractive about you. They like your intelligence, they like your spirituality, and they just really like your wisdom and your wit, as well as, just how you present yourself as well, and just your energy. Definitely your energy is so magical, but very, very intuitive, very intuitive. You might even be, I said Reiki before, but you might even be someone who, perhaps you help people clear their chakras, or you even, maybe you do pendulum, or you do runes or tarot. Yeah, but you might be someone who likes to pursue that, but you're definitely someone who people are like, maybe they're better off being alone. Do you think you're better off alone? That's the kind of vibe. That's it. So, yeah, but people think that's very attractive, and people are so proud of you, for all that you do for the people you love and for yourself. So yeah, if you enjoyed this reading, make sure to subscribe if you have not already, and also leave a comment down below if it resonated, and let me know. Also give a thumbs up or a like if you enjoyed this. And yeah, I hope to see you in the next pick a card. And also, I wanted to tell you that all of my stuff is in the description, the link to my Etsy shop, as well as the link to my PayPal if you wanted to make an energy exchange or a donation of any kind. It really helps out this channel a lot. But my personal private readings are on my Etsy page, so make sure to check that out, along with my sister's page is down in my description. I also have her featured on my page as the main channel that I feature, so yeah, check her out on my page. And yeah, so thank you, and I will see you in the next pick a card. Bye!